Remember how to write equivalent rational numbers? So if we wanted to write 2/5 as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 15, we start with the 2/5, and we need this to be an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 15. So how do we get there? Well, 5 times what equals 15? That's going to be 3. So I can't just multiply 3 to the denominator because 2/15 is not the same as 2/5. I have to also multiply to the numerator. So really, I'm only multiplying by 1 here, which doesn't change the value, just changes the way it looks. So in the numerator then, 2 times 3 is 6. So 6/15 is an equivalent fraction for 2/5. It just has the denominator that we want. So we're going to use that same process for writing equivalent rational expressions, because P over Q times R over R, which is just 1, equals PR over QR. So we can only multiply expressions by 1 if you do not have an equal sign in the original problem, meaning you start with just this expression. You can only multiply by 1. That's all that we can do legally to stay equivalent. So let's write some equivalent rational expressions with the given denominator, okay? So in A, we have 2x over 5y. And so my goal is to go from 5y to 20x squared y squared. So let's see what we need for the number factor. 5 times what is 20? That's 4. Now, for the x factor, we don't have any x's here, so I need x squared. And for the y factor, I have 1y, so I need another y to get to y squared. So this is what we need to multiply to get that denominator. Now we just need to look at the numerator and multiply the same thing. So 4x squared y. Okay, so for the number factors, 2 times 4 is 8. X times x squared is x cubed. And times y will be y. So here we have an equivalent fraction, a rational expression, that has the denominator that we want. Of course, we started with a monomial and we made it into a monomial. It can be a little bit more difficult for more terms. So for B, I have 3y plus 2, and I want to have 15y plus 10. So I'm going from 2 terms to 2 terms. That means I only need to multiply by a single term. I'm not changing the number of terms. I just want to change a factor of the terms. So how do I go from 3y to 15y? What if I multiply by 5, right? Because 3 times 5 is 15. Will that also get me the same thing for the second term? So let's just see. So it's 15y plus 10. Yep, that's exactly what I want. So I only need to multiply 5 here. So in the numerator, 5 times 11 is 55 for the coefficient times y. And that will be my equivalent fraction here, equivalent rational expression. And for example C, I have more than one term, so let's lock it up. Okay, and I need to go from x squared minus 25 to x plus 5x minus 5x minus 3. And that means that we have to factor first, right? I need to know what my factors are. So let me factor this x squared minus 25. Those are 2 terms, different signs, they're perfect squares, so we have the sum and difference of x squared and 5. So those are what we have, all right? We already have those factors, so we just need the x minus 3 factor. So let's multiply that, and we must multiply the same thing to the numerator. So in the numerator, we got some distribution here, 3 times x, and 3 times minus 3. So 3x minus 9 is going to be the numerator that we need to complete this equivalent expression.